All right, continuing Genesis chapter 24. Um, keep your phones muted, please. All right, Genesis 24, verse 59. It says, they sent away Rebekah, their sister, with her nurse. Look at that. They're big ballers too. With her nurse, Abraham's servant, and his men. Verse 60. I don't know if anybody has a different word for nurse. I'm actually interested to look up that Hebrew word real quick. 59. H 3243. Yanak. To suckle, nurse. Suck, to suck, suckling, babe. To give suck to, nurse, nursing, a nursing woman. I believe that's obviously that. So this is probably most likely a woman that was involved with this daughter's life from her childhood. This is somebody who's been around her life a long time. That's pretty cool. Wow. All right, verse 60. They blessed Rebekah and said to her, our sister, may you be the mother of thousands of 10,000s, and let your offspring possess the gate of those who hate them. Wow. And let your offspring possess the gate of those who hate them. Verse 61, Rebekah arose with her ladies. There's a lot of thoughts going in my mind about that. That's why I paused really long. Yeah, I'm gonna turn their video off. There's a lot going on there. There we go. Thank you. I'm not even paying attention. So, a lot going on in my mind there about who are the original Canaanites. The Israelites came over to take over that land. And then Israel went into captivity several times, but the official one, I guess the house of Judah being in 70 AD, the temple was destroyed, ransacked. And I just wonder, who are the real people? I wonder. I know there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about who believes who's the real people, the DNA proof or the historical proof, the Deuteronomy 28 proof. There's all these different versions of the proof, and I'm being honest. I'm not satisfied with all these claims. There's some missing links in all these different claims, but it is an important topic because there is somebody who used to live in that land, right? But then Abraham's descendants took over that land and are hated by the group that previously used to own that land. And there's a hatred that even exists today over there regarding that land. The question is, who are the real Israelites? You know, it's a good question, but I definitely, according to scripture, regardless of what your DNA is or ethnicity you are, if you are not worshiping Yahusha, if you are not in allegiance, in covenant with Yahusha the Messiah, the land is not yours. The land belongs to the children, the inheritors of the promise, which is inclusive. If anything, all the covenants point to the Messiah. So it's all the children that have been sensitive to the voice of Yahuwah and believing in the Messiah that came, died, and rose on the third day. If you have not embraced that, whether you're an ethnic Israelite or not, that land does not belong to you. That's my conviction. The land belongs to the children of Yahuwah, and the children of Yahuwah have repented and have put their trust in the Messianic King, Yahusha the Messiah. who is Yahuwah in the flesh. So that is my belief. Strong convictions on that. Ezzy, what you got?
Just two cross references. It sounds like the family is giving her the same blessing that Yahuwah gave to Abraham about Sarah without them even knowing it. In Genesis 17, starting in verse 15, it says, "And Elohim said to Abraham, as for Sarai, your wife, do not call her name Sarai, for Sarah is her name. And I shall barak her, bless her, and I also give you a son by her," who Rebecca is marrying. "And I shall barak her, bless her, and she shall become nations," or some translations say the mother of nations. "Sovereigns of people are to be from her," or kings of people are to be from her. And then it says in Genesis 22, in verse 22, I think, is it 13?
17?
Yes, Genesis 22:17. I'll start in verse 16. "By myself I have sworn, declares Yahuwah, because you have done this, you have not withheld your son, your only son, that I shall certainly barak you, and I shall certainly increase your seed as the stars of the Shemayim, and as the sand which is on the seashore. Let your seed possesses the gate of their enemies." I don't like that translation.
Yeah, it says pretty much the same. 22:17 in the web version, it says that I will bless you greatly, and I will multiply your offspring greatly, like the stars of the heavens and like the sand which is on the seashore. Your offspring will possess the gate of his enemies.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yep.
So it's the same blessing for Sarah, for Rebecca, and the same promise.
Yep. Seed of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Israel. Absolutely. All right, let's continue. Verse 61, Genesis 24:61. Rebekah arose with her ladies. They rode on the camels and followed the man. The servant took Rebekah and went his way. Isaac came from the way of Beer Lahai Roi, for he lived in the land of the south. Isaac went out to mediate in the field at the evening. He lifted up his eyes and looked. Behold, there were camels coming. Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she got off the camel. She said to the servant, "Who is the man who is walking in the field to meet us?" The servant said, "It is my master." She took her veil and covered herself. Milo?
Just real quick, I think it's beautiful. Isaac, it says in 63, Isaac went out to meditate in the field. And that word meditate means to commune or speak. And I don't think you do it by yourself. I really believe that he was spending time with the father out there, and spending time with Yahuwah. His mom had just passed away, and just really going out. And I love the fact that we see one of our forefathers just taking time out, personal time out. And it just shows us that we should do the same thing. Just sometimes we need to go away, even as Yahusha did, right? Yahusha went out sometimes, and he went on his own, and he went out and prayed, and he meditated, and he communed with the Father. Excuse me. And I think this is a beautiful picture of that, and something that we can learn as well.
Another cultural interesting concept here. She veiled herself. I wonder what that looked like. How much did she veil herself, right? Is it the type of veil that we use in America during weddings, or is it more intense than that, like the Middle Eastern, covering the face? I don't know. I'm just saying. I wonder. Ezzy, what you got?
I was going to say, I have an assumption, because remember, the servant, the first thing that he commented on was her beauty. She was beautiful.
She was very
so
beautiful.
If she's coming and this is supposed to be arranged, a woman wouldn't want her beauty to be the reason why he loves her. Even Yahuwah talks about that in the Tanakh. He says, when the people were coming into the land, to shave her head and let her be shameful. And if you still love her, if you still want to be with her, then marry her. So I'm wondering culturally if that's what the purpose is.
Interesting. But it's interesting that she wasn't always covered, right? Like the Muslims, they have to be covered at all times. So, this servant, Laban, who's the servant? Does he have a name? Eliezer, the servant's name? Oh, wow. So Eliezer, right? Eliezer, got to see her face, her beauty. You know what I mean? So that's cool. And but this is the man that she's about to enter into covenant with, if not already, because she's already verbally made some agreements, but she's covering herself. I think that's beautiful. That says a lot about the modesty culture of our people that we should consider. There's not a lot of details in this, but it definitely shows that there is a type of covering, for women. But again, there's some liberty there because she didn't do this all the time. Okay, so there's some liberty here. So yeah, don't force it all right, anyways, moving on. Verse 66, the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. No ceremony, no wedding ceremony. Their ceremony was in the tent. That's it. They became husband and wife. I remember reading this with my wife. We were studying marriage, right? What is marriage? What does it look like? Like culturally, do we need a marriage certificate? I remember because we were struggling in our walk and our purity, right? Trying to stay pure before marriage. And it became a challenge. And we started studying this subject. I said, babe, we don't need a wedding. We don't need a marriage certificate to be husband and wife. And we both came to the same conclusion. We got on our knees in her dorm, the dormitory of her college. We got on our knees, crying out tears, like literal tears, repenting of our sin, lusting after one another, getting too close, straddling that line, of losing our virginity, because our goal was to get married as virgins, and we thank Yahuwah, we did accomplish that goal. But we were getting away from it, especially when we left Christianity, right? We left Christianity and there was no accountability anymore. There was no, yeah, my wife is saying we barely had accountability in it. That's true. That's true. I think I had more accountability than you did. I had men in my life that would constantly talk to me about purity and, different types of things. And, but once we left that, it's like we were swimming out in the ocean, fending for ourselves type of thing. And then we started spending more time together alone, and that was not good. So, but we made covenant with one another right there on the ground. We cried out, repented for our sins, and we declared ourselves husband and wife. We didn't consummate. We did it we had our own, we customized our covenant. We said we're not gonna consummate our marriage until after the wedding ceremony, until we publicly announce it and that was just our choice. Not that biblically we had to do it that way. We just felt like, I think our motive was, if we can't live with one another and we can't be fully settled with one another, I got no business, consummating with you if we're not going to be under the same roof. You're in a dorm, you're in college, and I'm renting a room. So, but we started the process of making a covenant with one another, right? It's like a betrothal, like I'm your husband, you're my wife. But what's missing is we need to get our own place. So we verbally exchanged covenant with one another, and then we dedicated our year to saving up money and making arrangements so that we can have a wedding ceremony and she can move in with me right on the wedding night, which it all worked out. It was awesome. And matter of fact, we have a laptop now with a DVD player, and I want to show y'all our wedding. So we got the DVD. I definitely want to show y'all. I've been wanting to show you guys for a while. So now we get to do that. off camera, obviously. I don't think I'm gonna do it with live feed. I might eventually I'm gonna put it up on YouTube. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. Yeah, I want to make a version that I show up on YouTube. Anyways, this was one of the changing paradigm shifting for me. It was a marriage concept shifting story that I remember reading. Isaac, verse 67. Isaac brought her into his mother's tent, and took Rebekah, and she became his wife. He loved her, so Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. That was like, I was like, whoa. Like, so beautiful story. I'll be quiet now. Anybody got any thoughts before we end this study? Any thoughts? All right. That's Genesis chapter 24, verse 59 to 67. Shalom.